What's up, YouTube? I'm John from Team RynOke, and today I'm going to be bringing you an updated version of my Sylvan deck profile. I made one video, but I kind of put it off. I wanted to play test with the deck a little bit more. I just want to go over some of the changes I've made, and I just want to say that this deck is performing much better than expected, guys. I personally am loving Sylvans. Can't wait for the new support to come out in Primal Origin. I'm really excited for that pack already. I'll probably in the future do a video over the new support for Sylvans and just discuss it with my teammate. Just some back and forth banter over what the new support is, because even he thinks this deck is going to be monstrous when the new support comes out. So let's go over to the deck that I am using currently, guys. The deck build, sorry. I'm running 3 Hermitaries, guys. I believe in my last video, if y'all watched it, kept referring to this as the Dooku tree. I just heard that as a nickname for it. I really liked it. I adopted it, so anytime I play this card, I just say the Dooku tree, and I guess only Zelda fans get it. If you don't, oh well. It's a Zelda reference, guys. Then I'm running triple Marshall Leaf. Pretty pricey card right now. I think it's still rocking about 20 bucks. I haven't checked it out, though. I have no intent in selling mine or trading my playset off. I am in love with them. They're all first ed, so got my playset of these when we bought our case. So let's just go over what these 2 monsters do. So first off, the Hermitry. He's our level 8 monster. Once per turn, I can excavate 1 card. If it's a plant, send it to the graveyard, and if I excavate a plant, I get to draw 1 additional card. So I kind of get to set some plays up with him and the field spell. I'll go into that play, like I'll re-show it. I don't know if I showed it in my last video, but I will show that play. But when he's excavated, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. Once again, another way to help set up for future excavates. Then Marshall Leaf, when he's normal summoned, you get to say 1 or 2 and then excavate that many cards. And then if he himself is excavated, you get to pop 1 monster on the field. So he is our monster popper. Really, I hate drawing into him. I prefer to set him up for the excavates, but sometimes it happens, guys. I mean, you know. And then Hermitry. It's Hermitry. I really don't like drawing into him either. I prefer if those 6 these 6 cards just never show up in my hand unless I put them there for a reason. The next Sylvan we run, guys, is I run triple of the Mushroom. I can't pronounce his name. I'm just going to call him the Shroom. So this guy, I actually don't mind drawing into like 1 of him just because he's a 2000 defense. So you set him, and when he's flipped, you get to say 1 through 5. And that's how many you excavate. So, of course, I always say 5. I try to get the most out of my excavates and set my graveyard up. That is the beauty of this deck. You just set up graveyard. So, I mean, with that being said, it's pretty obvious how to beat this deck. So, you know, Macro, Defissure, I think the Banisher of the Radiance does it too. Where any cards go to the graveyard, they're banished. So, that will kill the deck and stop the excavate effects. But when the Mushroom is excavated, you get to MST something on the field. So I love it. It lets me have extra MSTs in the deck. Not a fan of it if I'm playing probably Mermails, because knowing my luck, I'm going to target that fucking sphere, and it's going to go off and chain. So next up, guys, and this is actually the last Sylvan monster I'm currently running. This is Sylvan Peacekeeper, guys. I really was only thinking about running 1 of him, but the more I play with him, I actually love this card. I recycle this card. I make pretty good use of him, I like to think. So what happens is, when he's excavated, you get to special summon 1 level 4 or lower plant from your graveyard onto the field. I mainly use him to set up extra Lone Fire plays, so I'll go into how I use him in a minute. But if he's normal or specialed, you get 1 excavate also off him. Not the best way to use his effect, but sometimes it's all you have, so sometimes I will just set stuff up with him. But I actually really like him. I like him at 2. I don't feel it's too cloggy at 2. In fact, I think at 2 is the perfect number, because then I'm going to be guaranteed that 1 in my deck to possibly excavate. So once again, guys, that is it for the Sylvans. I am currently only running 4 Sylvans. 4 different Sylvans. I'm running 3, 6, 9, I believe 11 Sylvans in total, which is crazy. It's a Sylvan deck, but only 11 of them are Sylvans. New support, guys. There will be new monsters to add, but I'll go into that later on in another video probably. Next up for my plants, I play 2 Lone Fires, guys. It's Lone Fire. This is pretty self-explanatory, but this card is so important for the setup for some of the best plays in the deck. So, it's Lone Fire. Next up, I'm only running 1 Fallen Angel of the Roses. My deck isn't as of right now, is not a very, what is the word I'm looking for? Rank 7 spam deck. It can make rank 7s. It can, and she is part of it. But for the most part, it doesn't really focus on the rank 7s. I'm more interested in my rank 8s with this current build. But she does allow for the rank 7 plays. What her effect is, I can special summon this card from my hand by returning 1 face-up plant monster I control to my hand. Oh, pardon me, guys. Except for Fallen Angel of Roses. And if I do, banish her when she leaves the field. So, pretty much, I can set up a I can put a mushroom face down, you can attack into it, I can get my excavate, then on my next turn I can bounce it back to my hand, play her, then reset it, so I'm going to get more excavates. So, I like her at 1. I haven't got to try her anymore, mainly because I haven't picked up another 2 of her. I do want to play set just to change it around. I think she's going to be more important to my build when the rank 7 for Slyvans comes out. And my deck will focus a little bit more on the rank 7 plays, I think. So we'll see. Then the next monster I'm going to be running is Spore, guys. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's Spore. This guy, though, is what makes a lot of plays for me also with the Hermitry. If I can't exceed, I will Synchro. I will make a Star Eater in this deck, guys. And for those of you that have had Star Eater attack you, you know it sucks. So, Spore is too good. Then, of course, Dandelion. Then Copy Plant. The other way I get out my rank 7 plays is through Copy Plant. So, then Debris Dragon to target Dandelion, Lone Fire, whatever it can target. 500 attack or less, I think, is all it is. And then go into whatever kind of play you want. I have used this to bring back Lone Fire into Fallen Angel and him to make Star Eater. I'm pretty pro Star Eater in this deck, guys, if you can't tell. But it is a Dragon Synchro, so. Then on to my hand traps, guys. I run 4 hand traps, just 2 different ones. I run 2 effect veilers because effects are the bane of a lot of things' existence right now. Monster effects are just dirty. So I do main 2 veilers, and then right next to that, right now I think DD Crow is probably one of the best cards in the game. Now I'm sure somebody's going to post a comment or write a video or somebody said out there why DD Crow isn't that great or blah blah blah. I don't care. Guys, this is my video, this is my opinion. I will discuss my opinion with you gladly. We can have a conversation. But I'm not going to react to people telling me I'm wrong because it's all my opinion, just like it's your opinion. But I think DD Crow is probably one of the best cards out right now. It's been out for a while, actually. But I think it's one of the best cards. It's a hand trap. Oh, your opponent plays that Wolf Bark and targets. Who cares? It's not going to be summoned this turn. Or, what is it? Red Dragon, Cyber Dragon Nova goes to the graveyard. DD Crow it before its effect resolves. You can stop Graph of Dark World monsters, Mermail monsters. You can hit stuff before it technically resolves in the graveyard, so they miss their effect. So it's just a great card, guys. It's great tech. A lot of my decks do main DD Crow. I actually prefer it over Max C's this format. So, and then let's go on to the spells, guys. And I believe that's 22 monsters. So let's go on to my spell count. I believe this is all my spell count. Let me make sure. I do not run a lot of spells in this deck currently, so I have dropped some, I think, but we'll see. I main the 3 Mount Sylvanias, guys. Okay, so what this does, Mount Sylvania, is I can send 1 plant monster from my hand or on the field to the graveyard to put any Sylvan monster on the top of my deck. Now, this is very important for my personal favorite opening hand is this, a Lone Fire, and some fuck-all plant. I don't care. I mean, if I get a Spore in the graveyard early game, I'm not going to complain. If I get a Dandelion in the graveyard, obviously I'm not going to complain. But, I mean, it's any plant, and then I can put any Sylvan on top. So, and then I'll show you what I do with that here in a minute. Then I run only two guys, and I'm a little sad because this one's Silver Letter, this one is Super. I do need to get one more Super to replace this. I'm sure we have it, I just haven't looked very hard. I only run 2 Miracle Fertilizers, guys. I had it at 3 for a long time. I just didn't feel I needed 3, so I bumped it down to 2. It's pretty self-explanatory on what it does, but if you don't know, it's kind of like Call of the Haunted, but you get it every turn. But if that monster, I believe if that monster leaves the field, if a monster special summoned by this effect leaves the field, destroy this card. But if this is destroyed, the monster doesn't go. So it's a little better, a little worse. And then if I special summon a monster with its effect that turn, I can't normal summon or set. So, but half the time, it only sits on the field for its initial use. Then I main 2 MSTs, guys. I main them mainly, I do have basically 3 MSTs through the monsters, but I main these 2 to stop things like Tenki if I'm playing a Fire Fist deck, or chain it to the Mermail's trap card or something. Just, it's chainable to activations of things, and it's going to make sure I can get rid of macro or defissure while it's on the field. So that is it for my spell count, guys. I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 spells. So I run 22 monsters, 7 spells. And let's get on to my traps, guys. So with this being Sylvans, I get to main deck, because it doesn't affect me in the slightest. I get to main deck 2 mistakes, guys, because I never actually add anything to my hand. I stack the deck in my favor. So Mistake hurts so many decks. It will hurt Bujins. Just so many different decks can get injured by Mistake, guys. My buddy plays... my teammate, sorry, he's also my buddy. He plays a lot of decks that this can hurt. So just a great card. I found it hurts a lot of decks, and I'm enjoying it. I believe he picked them up for him, but they were just sitting in our book for a long time, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to use these guys, man. Sylvans. Oh, and then I main 2 trap stuns, guys. I think trap stuns are amazing. They do win games. So, but with things like Star Eater and Armades, I mean, trap stun does kind of lose some of its luster. But, you know, I can do it before I go off my turn for, like, so they can't Divine Wrath me, or they can't Solemn Warning me, or something. Then 2 Fiendish Chains. I only main 2. I feel between 2 Veilers and 2 Fiendish Chains, that is enough monster negation to where I can work around anything at that point. So those are my happy numbers that I like to use in a lot of my decks, is 2 and 2. So, and then let's see. I teched this in, Polynosis. So, I can't remember if I took out a trap stun or something for this. I forget what I took out. But I had a third of something, and I was like, you know, I really want to try Polynosis. I just sacrifice a plant, and I can stop stuff. I mean, it's kind of like I got to sacrifice a plant, but I can stop a monster or any spell or trap card. I'm like, well, I think I'll take that chance. So it's situational, but sometimes I have tokens on the field, or I have a used up Alcé. I believe that's my rank 8. I've actually popped him with Polynosis just because I had... I believe Star Eater sitting on the field right next to him, or a Divine Dragon, Felgrand. So it was just like, whatever. Then I'm also running just one, Sylvan Blessing. I had tried this at 2 during one of the weeks of playtesting and tournaments, and I felt 2 was really cloggy, but I felt 1 was the happy number, because what it's going to do is I can put any card from my hand to the top or bottom of my deck. And then I can special summon any Sylvan monster from my graveyard to the field, and then during the end phase, it's going to go to the top of the deck. So, or bottom of the deck, wherever I want it. So that I can recycle and reuse things like, I can put those dead Hermitries or that dead Marshall Leaf in my deck. I can either put it on the top or bottom of my deck, and then I can special summon a Mushroom, a Marshall Leaf, or something. I can do a Exceed play, a Synchro play, or I can just end my turn, let it go back to the top of my deck, and I have it there for the Excavate during my opponent's end phase. So there's a lot of options that can be done with this card. I think it's underutilized. I think 1 is amazing in Sylvan decks, but it's just preference. I personally like it. So, and then I run my 3 basic, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Solemn Warning. Yeah. I run those guys. That's my trap count, so I believe that should put me at, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 traps. So I have 11 traps, 7 spells, and 22 monsters. So that gives me a 40 deck count. So let's go over my side deck, guys. These are just my personal side deck choices. It's It's kind of what I've been playing against, what I see played a lot, so I try to build my side around what I see. That doesn't necessarily mean this is the correct siding for this format or anything. So, and then different of my decks side differently. My Harpies, I get to benefit from being able to side in D-Fissure because I can work around D-Fissure and Harpies. So, and I get to side in different tech choices that I can't in this deck. But I do side in 2 Divine Wraths, discard 1 card, negate a monster effect activation, and then destroy said monster. Just great. It's counter trap. It pops things. It can stop like the giant chicken. Garunix. It can stop Garunix's effect. I have to actually look up when you would activate that, but it can stop Garunix from special summoning. And the best part about that is Garunix is already in the graveyard when its effect kicks in, so it's not going to special summon itself next turn. I had a guy at a tournament that I went to. We know him. I just asked for his opinion on it, just because I wanted to see what he would say, because he plays Fire King, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure stuff in the graveyard can't be destroyed. Well, I was right. I looked it up later. Once something's in the graveyard, it can't be destroyed again. So that was a plus that I looked up. I would love to personally play him, wait for that giant chicken's effect to activate, and be like, no. So, great card, though. I like it, personally. Then 2 Mind Crushes. With Tenki being abused, I don't see why not. Between Spellbooks, you're going to know what they added to their hand with Spellbooks. You're going to know what they added to their hand with Tenki. Priestess and World of Prophecy. They have to reveal themselves before their special summon. So on reveal, activate Mind Crush, call out that monster's name. They got to discard it, and they don't get their special summon. So, great tech, guys. I personally like Mind Crush. I'm very pro Mind Crush. That glare is annoying on this side. Then next up, guys, I do rock 2 Overworked Fire Fists. Fire Fist, and anything that abuses Tenki that gets the plus off it. I mean, not so much Constellars, I'd imagine, but Bujins, Fire Fist, so mainly for them. Doesn't target, just destroys, so no turtle. Then I rock 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors and 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. Mostly, I think I see more use out of Light Imprisoning Mirrors. Shadow's mainly there for things like Dark World and Inzectors. I don't know why, I've just seen a few Inzector decks pop up. My Harpies had no problem beating them, but just in case, I'd rather just be able to shut that whole thing down with one trap card. So I rock 2 of each, and then I play 2 of the selection, guys. So this is a counter trap. It's kind of like a Solemn Warning, but there has to be a monster of the same type. So what I find it best for is for decks that spam out the same type. Like Bujins, it may work in sometimes, but against things like the Cyber Dragon deck or Fire Fist. Fire Fists are all Beast Warriors, because they can search everything they have with Tenki. So they play their first one, and they summon a second one through Tensu. Negate. You pay 1,000 life points, but you negate the summon of a monster that's type is already on the field. Not only that, I'm pretty pro that card in the mirror match. I don't really use it too much in my Harpies. I think I do keep it in there just in case, because Harpies are kind of a popular deck right now, I guess. But Sylvans, Plants are a pretty popular deck always, so yeah, I keep it in there. I like it. I sight in 2 Maxis. I haven't really had to use them yet, but I'd rather have them and not need them. May make that Girgia player think twice about what he's about to do. So then I have my 3rd MST sighted, just in case I play a deck that can use D-Fissure, can use Macrocosmos, or, you know, it may be a deck that I don't want to MST targets with my monster. I'd rather MST them on activation. So, and that is the beauty of Sylvans. Their effects aren't mandatory. I don't have to pop a monster. I don't have to pop a spell or trap. I can. And with that being said, another effect I want to just point out is the Hermitry. His effect is you get to look at the top 3 monsters of your deck, and then you get to top 3 cards of your deck, and then put them in any order. But if you excavate multiple of him, he just became useless because you're still only going to get those 3. Guys, I do apologize. This is a longer deck profile video than I thought it would be, but there's a lot to cover. Sylvans are pretty good, and I like to hear myself talk. So, let's get on to my extra deck, guys. I run, for my Synchros, I run 1 number 49 Fortune Tune. Prefer it over Zenmanes, just because it's going to let me put my Martial Leafs back in my deck. Then I run one Mecha Phantom Beast Dracossack and one Big Eye. Like I said, guys, my deck doesn't focus on level 7 spam, rank 7 spam, sorry. It's mainly, that's not what it's good for right now. It won't be good till the new set comes out, and that'll be a new format. So, then I run for my rank 8s. I'm only running one of each of these, but I don't feel I need more than one of each of these. I'm running one Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. I do want to run a second. And the more I play this guy, the more pro I am of him. I'm not opposed to putting a second of him in there for right now. So, Divine Dragon Felgrand is pretty self-explanatory. Most people know his effect. Negate one monster's effects, and he's immune to everything else. You can respond to things being summoned, negate their effects, stuff like that, or protect himself. Then we have Alcei, the Sylvan High Protector. This guy is actually pretty awesome. Okay, he's a 2300 attack, 3200 defense. And I really didn't use him until I kind of figured out what I could do with him. I just kind of would always run to Felgrand, and then I needed to get around to Cyber Network because my opponent had a bunch of banished machines, and I was like, well, I really don't want that going off. And I realized I can make him, and I put that Cyber Network on the bottom of their deck so they didn't get the effect. But what he does is, once per turn, I call one card name. And then I excavate the top card of my deck, and if the card name is the one I declared, it comes to my hand. If it's not, it just goes straight to the graveyard. So, it is an excavate, though, so it does trigger the plants. But, then once per turn, I can use the other effect. I can detach a material when a card is sent from my deck to the graveyard, and I can bounce any card on the field to the bottom or top of the deck. Well, obviously, I'm not going to put certain things on the bottom of the, or on the top of the deck, like that Cyber Network. I really don't want him drawing it again, so between that and Mistake, he pretty much lost all his outs because he wasn't going to get the spell card to his hand. Cyber Core wasn't going to do anything for him. Just nothing was going to go off. Pretty pro that guy, though, like I said. Yay, Grumpy Cat. Okay, now we're on to my Synchros, guys. This deck does Synchro more than it exceeds, but I kind of find a way to balance them both where it looks like I exceed a lot. I run one Formula Synchron. Why not? I can Synchro my Spore and a token real quick so I can get Spore to the graveyard. One Armades because it's Armades. One Catastor, which I actually don't use. I have Armades, so I'm just like, well, get him! But Catastor does have his uses. I've made him a few different times in other decks, and he pulls through. One Black Rose because, well, why not? Dandelion and Debris Dragon says I'm going to nuke the field, and that's what people think most of the time. One Stardust Dragon, because it's Stardust. One Crimson Blader, because it will lock down Chaos Dragons, things that spam big number monster decks. So, no, you can't special. Is it special only, or let's see. Normal or special. So, pretty much that could lock down these Cyber Dragon decks, because they're not going to get out the Cyber Dragon, but they're still Dre, so. Then one Mistworm for my level 9. It's Mistworm. I actually make him quite a bit when I can. Bounce 3 cards back to the opponent's hand. Triple Compulse. With one Giganticastle, I haven't found a reason to make him because I have Mistworm, but I keep him in there just in case. Then one Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. Can't be targeted until my main phase 2 by card effects. So it's just my opponent's card effects can't target him until my main phase 2. I like that. No D-Prison, stuff like that. So unfortunately, Bottomless and Mirror Force don't target. And then the Piece de Resistance, Star Eater! Star Eater! I love Star Eater, guys, in this deck. It is amazing. I never have to make him more than once. Do people get around him? Yes. Dark Hole can suck my balls. But at least I don't have to worry about a Torrential happening. And then when he attacks, he's immune to anything anyway, so it's just like, pfft, fuck you. I will just whittle you down with Star Eater till you Dark Hole me. So it'll give me time to build up some hand advantage, to set up some plays. But that is what I do, guys. That is my Sylvan deck. Let me know what you think, guys. Comment below. Let me know. And then I want to talk about some of the matchups I've had with my Sylvans. I've played a lot of Cyber Dragon decks here recently. I guess it's the flavor of the week since the Structure deck came out. But my Sylvans, for the most part, haven't had an issue with Cyber Dragons. I keep beating them in tournaments. I've actually done 3 different tournaments with the deck. I went to 3 different locals. One tournament was on a Friday night. Then I had one a Saturday morning, and one later that evening for a Saturday night tournament. And In each one of them, I finished second place, so unfortunately I lost. On the Friday night tournament, I beat everybody until the finals. It was top 2, and I lost, unfortunately. It was a Blue Eyes E-Dragon deck, and he drew exactly what he needed, and I drew exact jank. That is one problem with the deck. It has 0 consistency for the most part. You can draw pretty bad with the deck, and you can try to work around it. I'm sure there's some better builds out there than mine, but this is what I'm using. And this is just what I'm noticing, is that it has a little bit of a consistency issue. It doesn't have much draw power, but Sylvan Charity's coming out soon. Yes. But I beat everybody throughout the night. Then I think I played a Cyber Dragon deck. I played Battle in Boxers. I was a little nervous about Battle in Boxers just because lead yoke. And I just kind of stopped lead yoke from ever being made. So that did make it a lot easier. So that did get rid of that fear I had of Battle in Boxers. Not so much a fear of the deck. I mean, it's a good deck. It's a rank 4 spam deck. I played Evil Swarms. I understand how that deck works. I just don't know all their effects, to be honest. I forget. But after playing it the first duel, I wasn't nervous about it. So I tried to beat the E-Dragon Blue Eyes deck, but he did get me, so I got second place, which I'm okay with. It's my Sylvans. It was it was the first night out at a tournament. I was pleasantly impressed. I got second place. I mean, I can't complain. I could have got first, but, it's whatever. Then the next day I went to another tournament with my teammate, Donnie. He did beat me in the finals. It came down to us. I got second place. Once again, I played really a lot of different rogue decks. I haven't really got to test this deck against top-tier decks like Boujins, things like that. The one Mermail player I didn't get to play. He played them. He beat them. But then when I played him, my teammate 2-0'd me, so I got second place again. But there's no shame there for that to me. He played a deck I really don't care to play against. And, yeah, I drew complete jank, but to be fair, his decks run really smooth all the time. And it's a deck he's played for a really long time. Then later that night, we went to another local, and we played again, and I got second place again. So there's a pattern here. I keep getting second. I'm the runner-up. I'm the first loser. Joy. But I lost to my teammate again that night. Same deck. I already knew I was going to lose, but I wanted to beat him. I tried. I lost. It happens. But it was just another tournament. It was at the same place we went Friday night. I went Friday night, sorry. But I got second place. I did lose to a Cyber Dragon deck that night. So my first round, I actually lost. But I made up for it, and then we went to top 4. I played that same Cyber Dragon deck again, and I beat it. Other than that, though, the deck, like I said, the deck is running good. It's running about as smooth as I think it can run at the moment. It just doesn't have the consistency in it, and I really don't want to add things like Pot of Duality in here yet. I feel like that would hurt the deck horribly, so. But guys, like I said, this is my Sylvan deck profile. Like our channel, guys, Team RynOke. March 15th, we are going to Tulsa, Oklahoma, for the regional out there. That's not really that far from Texas, guys. We are in Texas, so it's just Texas is so big to get out of. That's most of the drive, but we are driving to Tulsa, Oklahoma, so I look forward to seeing y'all up there. If anybody from Oklahoma that's going to be there at Tulsa's regional, feel free to holler at me. I'm John from Team RynOke. Here you go, guys, so you can see me. Oh my God, this is my face. But I will be clean-shaven, guys. You'll see me with my one-piece mat. But we are going up there. I won't be playing Sylvans for that regional, unfortunately. I know what I'm going to play. I'm working on the deck structure for it, how I want it to run. But I won't be playing Sylvans. I don't feel like they're going to get me my invite from regionals. I would like to qualify. As y'all know, my teammate has already qualified. But yeah, like I said, guys, once again, like, subscribe, comment below. I want to know what y'all think. My teammate wants to know what y'all think, so yeah, have at it, guys. I'm John from Team RynOke, out.